Here's my take on a fingerstyle crash course. This lesson we're going to go over a few different finger picking styles: the 3-finger, the 4-finger, and the 5-finger finger picking style. With these 3 simple patterns, you're going to start building a little dexterity in your right hand, the hand that's really responsible for most fingerstyle elements. This is a great path to get you started. Let's start out with a 2-finger method. I'm going to use a G chord. It's good to consider learning all your bass chords before really delving into any fingerstyle elements. For each of these examples, we're going to use the same pattern. Our pattern is G to an F sharp over D, E minor, F sharp over D. So for the 3-finger example, thumb on the top, we're going to put these 2 fingers on the very bottom, E and B strings. For this first pattern, what you're going to do is take your thumb and you're going to push all the way through the note, leaving your thumb resting on the string below it. Now your index finger is going to pull up, followed by your ring finger, which pulls up. Place your index finger back and pull up again. This is the pattern. Now, I get this question from time to time. Should I leave my hand floating? Should I have an anchor? Should I have a palm on somewhere, the saddle? I think it's nice when you're just beginning to put your palm on the saddle. Put your palm down here on the saddle, usually in about this area right here, somewhere that's comfortable. Take your pinky and plant it. That's going to help give you reference to where the strings are. It acts as an anchor. Now, bring your thumb up to the top and put your index and your ring on the bottom 2 strings. You're going to pluck the thumb all the way down until it's touching the string below it. You're going to pull your index up through the string. You're going to pull your middle through the string. You're going to put your index back and pull up again. And you've done your 4 notes. You can think about it in terms of notes: G, D, G, D. You can think it in terms of strings: E, B, E, B. Or you can think of it in terms of fingers, which is usually what I do when I kind of have to work through a pattern. Thumb, index, middle, index. Thumb, index, middle, index. Thumb, index, middle, index. Thumb, index, middle, index. If you can keep that pinky planted, it helps you have a reference point for where the strings are. The saddle is nice as well as providing like a second anchor. As you get more comfortable with it, you want to slowly try to increase your speed. Now you've got the pattern down, we're going to work on transitioning. The next chord I'm going to go to is a D, so just your typical D, but I like adding the F sharp on top. So by using this F sharp here, we're providing a walking bass line. It's a bit of voice leading our bass from the G to the F sharp to the E open, back to the F sharp. It kind of steadies the voice down and then back up before starting over again. So let's try the same pattern. With your F sharp planted, D chord formed, you can plant your pinky. You can put your palm on the saddle to help give you a second anchor point. You'll pluck down on the E string. You'll pull up on the B string, pull up on the E string, pull up on the B string. Or you can think about it like thumb, index, middle, index, thumb, index, middle, index, thumb, index, middle, index. Final chord, going to an E minor. Same pattern. Honestly, you don't really need to even put your hand there since we're not playing any of the notes that we're fretting. But I think it's good practice for when you are playing notes involved later on. So go ahead and fret it out. It'll serve you well down the road. Pluck down with our thumb. Pull up with our index on the B. Pull up with the middle on the bottom E. Pull back up with our index on the B. You can think about it like thumb, index, middle, index, thumb, index, middle, index, thumb, index, middle, index, thumb, index, middle, index. Finish out the pattern back on the D sharp. I'm just going to play this through since we've already gone over it once. Alright, let's put it all together. Start with a G. Great intro pattern if you're just getting used to finger picking and it's still kind of foreign to you. I suggest breaking it down to something very simple like this. Next, let's talk about a 4-finger picking pattern. This is what I'm calling the Timmy Rimmy pattern. It's something I learned from my teacher when I was first beginning. And the reason why is we're going to use our thumb into our index, into our middle, into our index, to our ring, index, middle, and then index. T-I-M-I-R-I-M-I. Now the classicals among you will say, that's not the proper notation for your finger picking, sir. Classical notation would have this as a P, ring finger, listed as an A. Just doesn't ring as well as Timmy Rimmy. Let's go over the pattern. Thumb is going on the top. Your pinky is going to be your anchor. Your next 3 fingers on the bottom 3 strings. If you want to float your hand, you can float it. If you want a second anchor, bring it all the way down here to your saddle and plant it. And then you have 2 anchor points to help you keep a good reference as to where the strings are. Our pattern is G to an F sharp over D, E minor, F sharp over D. Let's walk slowly through the pattern. First is your thumb. You're striking down through it, and you can bring it down to the string below it. I often leave mine back floating, so that way it's ready to strike again. Almost in the same position I started it at. Next, you're going to pluck up on the index. That's going to let that G string ring. You pull up on the ring. It's fingering a D note. You go back to your index. Now we're jumping all the way down to the ring. That's playing a G note on the very bottom E string. We go back to the index. That's on the open G. Play our middle once more on the B string, which is playing a D note. And then we finish with another G. I'm going to play it slowly for you, but I'm going to tell you which fingers to play. So just keep those fingers familiar with where they are on the strings. You won't have to worry about looking at which one you're plucking. Just think about the fingers individually, as opposed to which string is which. Pluck the finger associated with this particular pattern. For this, we're going to do a thumb, an index, a middle, an index, a ring, an index, a middle, and then another index. We're going to speed it up slowly. Each 4 measures I'm going to increase speed just a little bit. Okay, so hopefully you've mastered the pattern a little bit. The next thing we need to work on is transitions. Our pattern is G to a F sharp over D, E minor, F sharp over D. We're going to do the Timmy Remy pattern. If you need to, plant that pinky, plant that palm. You have a good reference for where your guitar strings are. Locate your strings. Don't worry so much about what notes or what strings you're playing. Just think about the individual fingers. That's going to really help create a mind muscle memory. We're going to play each chord for a measure, and then we're going to go to the next chord. It's going to sound a little something like this. Now that you got the hang of this finger picking pattern, I highly suggest trying it on different chord combinations. Let's talk about the final pattern of this little mini series. We're going to use all 5 fingers. Now that we're using all 5, you can't use your pinky as an anchor. We're going to place it on the string from the very bottom. So our pinky's on the bottom E, ring's on the B, middle is on the G, and our index is on the D. We're going to place our thumb on the very top string. For this particular pattern, what we're going to do is play essentially from the thumb to the ring in a straight line, and we're going to play from the pinky to the index in a straight line. It will look something like this. And then we play pinky, ring, middle, index. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Fret your G chord. It'll sound like this. So, thumb, index, middle, ring, pinky, ring, middle, index. Thumb, index, middle, ring, pinky, ring, middle, index. If you've gotten used to the finger picking pattern, let's go over the chord pattern one more time. Our pattern is G to a F sharp over D, E minor, F sharp over D. Let's give it a shot. 1, 2, ready, go. final challenge, I'll speed up after every pass through the chords. It's going to get steadily quicker, so try to stay consistent, see if you can keep up. 1, 2, ready, go. My suggestion, if you're starting to get frustrated, is take a short break. Go for at least a 5-minute walk. Get some fresh air, go grab something, to nibble on, and come back refreshed. And you'll be surprised at how quickly you'll pick it right back up and continue to improve. Thank you for tuning in. Please leave a like, comment below, share, and I hope you have a wonderful day.